Good morning and welcome to a brand new week here for Wake Up Nigeria. Now, like they say, Mondays can always be a little more relaxing and chilled out. If you
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah.
But
Wake Up Nigeria.
It kind of means you have a sense of direction, some positivity infused into your morning, and that's why we're here. Welcome to a motivation-filled edition of the #1 breakfast show in Nigeria.
Loads of activities for everybody, whatever it was that you were doing, great moments and everything. Anyways, the weekend is done and it's a new week and we're all going to start it all together. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was.
Any NBC last final warnings, we are going to have a great show. Yes, I took a dig. Thank you very much. This is TVC, of course, Wake Up Nigeria. We've got our musical performance. We have Boy Mac, an Afrobeat artist who has been on an incredible journey of musical self-discovery, hailing from a vibrant and culturally rich background. Boy Mac has honed his craft and is now poised to leave an indelible mark on the global music scene. Can't wait for his performance.
Jola Grace Emmanuel. The soul doctor is going to be here with us, don't worry. Now she helps trauma victims, the broken, the emotionally wounded, the abused. She helps them heal and reinvent themselves for an excellent life. Jola Grace is a really passionate person, and she's passionate about healing the soul. Mental health advocate, certified life and trauma recovery coach. She's gonna be right here. Emotional health and trauma is the conversation.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
I'm saying that to myself. It's good to be home. Sorry, back at work.
Welcome back, Mazino.
Thank you very much.
We missed all your quips and quirks.
Oh, I got more. I got
We know. We're expecting them.
Rejuvenated and ready to get in trouble.
Please don't get in trouble. Please don't.
How was your weekend? You were going to tell us about it.
Yeah, so the twins and I appeared on a game show.
Oh.
Yeah, we actually...
Your second time there first.
No, so we appeared as guests on a game show in order to support a charity.
Nice.
And we were told to... so you know the forget the lyrics thing we do on game day? So they told us to forget the lyrics for nursery rhymes.
Oh, and did you forget them?
No.
Did your kids do?
No.
Good.
We got all of them, but yeah, there was a few things we could have done better. There was one of those questions that I know was in the civics and social studies space. And hoping my daughter had the answer, I hesitated. And when I wanted to answer, I just said, pass.
Oh.
And I know that is probably going to trend later
wow.
on when it comes out.
I can't wait to see this.
Because I'm supposed to know the answer to that one. And I didn't say it.
I had a good weekend. It was a 10-day weekend, actually, which I used very, very, very assiduously because I enjoyed it. Had a trip to Minna and back. Fantastic.
How were the roads?
Loved it. Took a different route from what I normally would. This time I went through a very scenic and lonely road through Akure, Akungba, and a whole lot of other places I had never been to. Akongba. Yes, I got a correction. Akongba. Sorry, not this.
Wow.
Akongba. It was fantastic. Loved it.
So the roads were calm. The roads were smooth.
The roads were calm. The roads were smooth.
No flooding?
No flooding, no.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed this one. I was going to be on another one tomorrow, but...
You have to be at work. Mazino, You have to put the suit on, take the leather jacket off sometimes.
I know. I'd rather be in leather though.
Yeah, but you know, I actually really, I can't lie. I'm envious of the fact that you get to go out there, you know, so easily, so quickly, and with no fear.
Don't envy me in a rush. There are challenges as well.
On the roads?
Not the roads. There's financial implications that after you get back, you're like, Jesus, did I just do that?
Okay, true.
Know? And
makes sense.
The truth is that while you have a very exciting hobby, you also have to be considerate about family as well. Because when you engage, you're taking out time from family.
Sure.
So that's something you have to create a balance for, which is, you know, sometimes gets in the way.
But
so that's why I chose to resume back at work to spend time more with family and you guys.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll accept you back. But I actually think, so travel with family for women, at least for moms, is like work because you're watching the kids, you're monitoring, you're this, you're that. So we have to, you know, just actually really take ourselves out of that space. But hopefully the weather was good for you on your trip.
It was marvelous. God shone his light on me all through. But I wonder what it's going to be like today, if it's going to continue by his grace and because of my influence. And you're welcome. Good morning once again. Let's do the news. My name is Mazino Peel. Now we begin in Lagos, where the state government says it will begin the demolition of properties constructed within drainage channels as government moves to prevent flooding in the state. The Commissioner of Environment, Tokumbo Wahab, after an inspection of multiple drainage sites in the city, added that violators will receive 7 days' notice to vacate their properties. Esther Omokpariola reports.
In a bid to address the persistent issue of flooding in the state, Commissioner for the Environment and his team conducted visits to various locations within the metropolis. During their visit to Dodon Barracks, it came to light that certain structures had been erected on drainage systems. While our news crew was denied camera access to the premises, we managed to capture, using a mobile phone, the areas identified by government officials as illegally constructed and marked for demolition.
For the Dodon Barracks, our plan is we'll have a meeting with them. We've served them the requisite notices and it will last in 7 days. We are going to have a meeting with the GOC and the commander, but we have to do demolition to create and open up the path for the water to enter the primary channel created by the state government.
The inspection also covered several other areas, including an affluent neighborhood in the metropolis where there were clear indications of numerous properties encroaching on waterways. The Commissioner for the Environment says the state would not tolerate such violations.
They built on the canal path and narrowed the primary channel, lesser than the secondary even collector. So water will pull out and destroy other people's assets. We are not going to look back on this. You can't use a form of illegality to claim legality. You can't put something on nothing. It will not stand. These are squatters most times. And once you are a squatter and you build, especially on that canal path, the right of way, you have to go.
The team also had a chance to speak with the traditional ruler of Oniru. He appealed to the government to do more.
The way you have started, by people seeing you regularly, this week you are already in Victoria Land, next week you are going to Ajeromi Felodu. By the time people see you out there every other day or weekend or whatever, it will come back to their consciousness that it is important for us to get our environment clean.
With collective efforts and responsible urban planning, Lagos State Government aims to create a safer and more resilient environment for all its residents. Esther Mokwariola, TVC News, Lagos.
Now, let's let you know that operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have arrested a 67-year-old man, Chukwuemeka Clement, for allegedly ingesting 100 wraps of cocaine intended to raise enough money to marry a new wife. The suspected drug trafficker was arrested at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, during an inward clearance of passengers on Ethiopian Airlines Flight 951 from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The statement by the NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi said the body scan conducted on the suspect revealed multiple pellets in his stomach, and he excreted 100 wraps of cocaine weighing 2.195 kilograms in 4 excretions while under observation. According to the statement, the agency's sustained efforts also yielded results with the arrest of suspects, intercepted and recovery of different kilograms of illicit drugs in Kano, Ogun, Edo and Gombe State. Now, outside of Nigeria, Israel declares state of war as fierce fighting continues in several areas across southern Israel, a day after Hamas' surprise attack on Israel. Hezbollah claims responsibility for mortar strikes from Lebanon into occupied Sheba farms. Israel says it has responded with artillery strikes. The escalation comes as fears of a ground invasion of Gaza are growing after Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu threatened to turn the besieged Palestinian enclave into a deserted island. The latest death toll stands at 370 Palestinians, according to health officials, and more than 700 Israelis, according to media reports. Hamas operation came on the heels of widespread Israeli shelter attacks, increased tension at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem, and a record number of Palestinian kills. Thank you for joining us for a Monday morning. Let's get on with the rest of Wake Up Nigeria. Welcome once again. Welcome back. It's time for What's Up and About, and we're joined by Mary.
Hey, good morning. Happy Monday.
You're wearing shoes today.
Wow, Mazina.
Do you want to see?
Mazina is back. When you hear things like
But
this.
you weren't here the last time. The last time she came over.
Oh, okay, you are not here.
She wasn't. She actually forgot her shoes. So the camera had to
Mazina
take her from
announced it.
angles where we couldn't see her.
I ended up in the kitchen instead of doing all the interviews I was supposed to do.
Exactly.
Are you okay now?
And you remember, Mary's got very, very big toes. They're like fingers.
Oh,
If
really,
Mary was on a
Mazino?
cliff and you push her over, her fingers would hold onto that edge of the cliff. And she'd be like, nope, I'm not going
So,
anywhere.
Mary, what should I do? What should I do? How should I handle it?
I'm lucky this is
Did you
not
hear me?
free.
How should I?
Did you hear me? Okay.
All right, so
All right, let's talk
NBC is
about
watching
topic.
too.
That's what I said. Okay.
We have a very interesting topic for today. It's something you guys have been privy to all through the weekend, and it's about your fave. It's Davido. He's in the news again. Only this time, no, he didn't get anybody pregnant, but he's not returning nobody's money, according to him. Let me intimate you. So, Amaju Pinnick.
Did you just say Amaju?
Yeah.
Amaju.
Amaju.
I thought it was Amaju.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, he was at the event called Worry Again, which is a comedy event. It's a concert put together by the patrons of Worry, you know, entertain people. And from over a year, almost a year ago, Davido was scheduled to actually be at the show. And he actually, even in a video, endorsed that he was going to be at the show, only for the events to happen and Davido wasn't there. So Amaju had to come up on stage and explain that Davido was not here, even after he had been paying about $95,000.
94,600.
40. Igbo girl.
How come I remember this?
Wow.
So this worried.
Oh, by the way, there was also $18,000 for the jet. Oh, I said I don't know anything about this story.
Sorry. About that.
But there was $18,000 paid for his private jet.
Yes, exactly. So, but he reneged on the contract if there was a contract that was signed. And there was a subtle threat by Amaju where he said that he would not perhaps be welcome in Worry again.
Oh, okay.
In Worry generally, not
So,
Worry again.
so basically,
No.
he would have had the keys to the city before, you know.
Hey.
But-
He was savage. Got the keys to the city.
But so, that's nice.
As in-
So David O responded with a challenge. How dare you say I won't perform in Worry? Well, we will see. So he is planning a what is it?
Timeless concert.
Timeless, yeah.
Worry. That's not where it ended. He also went on to say that he would not be refunding the monies that was given to him directly back to the people who funded him. Instead, he was going to be refunding it to a charity that would pay athletes or footballers who were maltreated at their last outing. Now, this is where it gets me all muddled up and scrambled eggy. If I paid you money and you reneged, even if he did say that he reneged months ago and the organizers should have put that out and not use his name for promotions, if you renege, pay me back the money, yes? Why redirect that money saying, I'm not going to pay it back to you, I'm going to pay it to a charity that will pay other people? In fact, he says he's going to double it.
Okay.
It might sound noble. People will be like, yes, that's my fave, Davido doing it again, speaking for the, for the you know, what's it called?
You know.
But then, it's just all shades of criminal.
Okay, so this is my issue with this is we don't actually know what that contract was about. We don't know all the clauses in there. We don't know if he had a non-refundable deposit. We don't know what, had gone on behind the scenes months ago. We don't know. And whenever you don't have all sides, I feel it's better to not judge because it is a music business. Music business. Now, for instance, if you say you're giving money to charity as a business now, what happens? You get some rebates, in certain areas. Tax rebates. Give it to charity. All these things. So, you give a... So, and then, of course, he's being on the side of the people. Now, there were some videos circulating of some players who were on the airport floor waiting for a flight just because, there was no alternative arrangement made for them to stay. These are players representing the country. Now, there have been so many situations where these players have been maltreated. And suddenly, they actually have $95,000 to pay an artist.
Let me help. Maybe I should start by trying to get the facts right on this. Number one, before I even start talking about the facts, let's first establish something. Number one, that's clause you mentioned. When you put non-refundable deposits in the clause, it's usually if the client is the one who, cancels it, right? It's never a case of I cancelled, so I cannot pay you back. So for that non-refundable, that's one. Two, let's also establish the fact that Amaju Pinnick is no longer the boss at the NFF.
So, exactly.
Good. Now that we've put that one aside, now let's focus on the facts.
Or is he?
Number one. Believe me, it is not.
Okay, all right.
Now let's talk about the facts now. So number one, Davido collected money for a concert. Number two, a jet was booked for him for the concert, right? And money was paid. Number three, he said he cancelled months ago.
Exactly.
Good. In that period of months ago,
have you refunded?
Did he refund?
No.
No, he did not. Good. We've established that as well. Now, in the statement he made, he did not go after trying to repair his image. He instead used reverse psychology by insulting Amaju. Wait, I'm leaving somewhere.
It's called hubris.
I'm leaving somewhere. So after doing that, he now started talking about how he can give out the money he didn't pay back for several months. So he can do this, he can do that. And then he was emphasizing on the fact that how dare he call him out. Meaning, we are all in the same ways. And you know what he used to emphasize? That he now mistakenly, I'm trying to protect him by using that word, tweeted about how people living in glass houses should not throw stones. Meaning, now all of us, they embezzle this money together. I do not think he had his publicist handle this because it was a very messy affair. I read that stuff this morning. And all I could think of is, no, Davido, you did
notice something, Mary?
But I wanted to say, wait. Can I just say
something? That in all of this, every single communication that we're reading or reacting on has been from David.
Yes.
Reactions.
Yeah.
There has been no reaction from Maju.
Yeah.
There's been no reaction from the organizers.
Intelligently so, but in my opinion, they started it. Why? You don't tell a public figure that they cannot come into your state.
No, I beg you can't be that.
No.
People do it every time. It doesn't mean that people cannot settle behind the scenes and
I would like to play the devil's advocate.
The insults were unnecessary. He has inadvertently admitted that he too. Now all of them they chop the money.
I believe that
now, why would you say I can't? Imagine if it was Lagos.
When it was,
you can't perform in Lagos.
I'm going to ask you one question after this, and you must answer directly.
Okay.
But the reference was to you will not perform in Worry Again. Worry Again is the name of the show. One.
Exactly.
Worry Again.
That was it.
Like
He said you will not perform. Yes, Worry Again is the name of the show.
Now that that's established, if you took money from me and, Titi, where is my money for my socks?
Please,
give me my money for my socks.
You know how many times I've paid for that?
That's not why Titi is
Wait, money for
Mazino has collected money for this socks twice.
Titi is owing me money
twice.
Please, let's take this break.
Puppy socks. She has not paid me.
Please, let's take this break. Let's end this. We need to settle the family matter.
You want me to open this can there?
Well, welcome. It's time to look at the dailies, the front page, find out exactly what's going on with the headlines. We've got a bunch of them here today. And, of course, we also have Mary here with us.
Hi.
Welcome. once again. Now, let's start with the Punch newspaper this morning, if you're just joining us. This will be the dailies. I'm going to start with the big headline here for the Punch newspaper. CBN investigator probes banks over 1.27 trillion naira intervention funds, 1.27 trillion naira anchor borrowers loans, others undisbursed in 5 banks. Special investigator to summon bank CEOs over intervention funds. At the top for the Punch, government Labour begin talks over 35,000 naira wage award, and 1,000 killed as Israeli-Hamas conflict rages. US deploys munitions. Now, we've seen this all weekend long. I don't know if you have any interesting take on the Israeli-Palestinian issue.
So the Israeli-Palestinian issue has been ongoing for a very long time. There are several people who are on the sides of the Palestinians, and there are some people that are like, no, it's Israel. The attack should not have been done. So for many people, there were actually attacks on certain celebrities who posted support either on their stories or made tweets and stuff about, supporting Israel. So it's an ongoing issue. And so
there seems to be plenty of support for Israel, it would seem. It's also very unfortunate, the images that are coming out of
very unfortunate.
Especially where you have women and children involved, kidnaps and all of that. It's very sad. However, even considering the support for Israel, if you really go down to the roots of the issue here, it's a very strange one because it is based on a patch of land that simply just states that, oh, this book says that this is my land.
Exactly.
And,
exactly.
Yeah, so, I'm here to claim it.
It's very sad because if the book is to be even explored, all of them should be together under one country, really. And so one cannot say, oh, you're taking the side of Israel, because if you know your history, you know that Israel too has done a lot of damage to Palestinians. And on the other hand, if you also look at the most recent attack, you could say, oh, you shouldn't have done this.
So unmodern, so uncivilized. Yeah. Let's put it so. Moving on now, final headline I'll be taking from the Punch. Sanwo-Olu orders demolition of markets built on drainage. We had a report on that in the news today. This was also something that was visited on the Lekki-Aja area, where people have chosen to build their properties on drainage pathways. They're saying that these are going to come down, whether or not they'll be given 7 days ultimatum to clear their properties before they come down. I think when you look at the greater good regarding the situation of Lagos and floodings, it would be a good effort, but I hope that these people get compensation, especially if they have all documents, if they have documentation regarding their properties before and after it was bought. So the unfortunate thing is, it is very unlikely for you to have documents backing you to build your property on a drainage. There's always that, there's always that clause. There's a particular length that you must leave between the drainage and the start of your house, which is why when there are, expansions of road, you see that fences are being broken down, and there's nothing they can do about it, because if the government brings you the plan, it shows that you should not have extended your property to that length. So it's very unlikely they'll get compensated. Very what paper do you have there that we can see?
Okay, so right now I have the Nation newspaper, and the Nation newspaper has this: federal government targets 5 million jobs in 5 years for youth. Here it also says better edu scheme will be efficient. Ajaokuta Steel to employ 500,000. Shatima firm 98% ready. Well, that's coming from the vice president saying Ajaokuta Steel is 98% ready. That's good news.
Do you know how long we've had the Ajaokuta Steel?
It's actually been spanning over 30 years.
Decades.
As a matter of fact, several, dispensations have claimed to have pumped money, which wasn't seen, into Ajaokuta Steel. And we thought, when the previous administration was there, that it was going to kick off. In fact, it started skeletally, but it hasn't started fully. So, thankfully, this administration will be able to put finishing touches to what started.
Do you know what the main problem is why Ajaokuta Steel has never been in operation?
Bro, the story is long.
One particular issue is what runs it, what kind of fuel runs it. And this is fuel you can only get from the people who actually built it. Who built it? The Russians. The Russians built it so that you can always come back to them for that fuel.
Exactly.
And we don't have a relationship
anymore. That's what I was actually thinking to myself. Interestingly, I was having this conversation with my man over the weekend, and we're talking about Ajaokuta Steel and how we will probably have to keep postponing it considering the Russia-Ukraine war right now.
So
But
now
hey,
you get
let's
it.
see. Maybe there's something that's been done.
Perhaps maybe
Yeah.
they've changed
They've
that
certain
resource.
things, yeah.
Moving on to the Daily Trust newspaper, big headline
Okay.
here: Israeli-Palestine conflict, how attacks on Al-Aqsa Mosque, others triggered crisis. Experts flay Israeli occupying power. Our Palestinian envoy wants Israel forces to obey international laws. Israeli ambassador fingers Iran as U.S. offers warships and aircrafts. AU, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, others urge ceasefire as death toll hits 1,000. Photo story there showing the ruins from some of the instances from that issue. At the top, Bielsa Imokogi polls, spate of violence and security worrisome, says INEC, and Pengerson confirms return of fuel subsidy.
I knew you would want to talk about that one.
Of course this is something everybody's very interested in. Everybody's concerned here, from the man down there to the man up there. How does this make you feel? What do you think?
So when I heard the first subsidy had returned, that was about a month ago, I was like, no.
Oh, you heard since a month ago? Wow.
Yeah, it's actually been in the news. But it started as a rumor. And then I was like, no, until it's confirmed. It can't be now. Look at how much we're paying for fuel. And so I'm wondering, if the government hasn't stepped in, you know, to actually subsidize, does it mean we'll be paying 1,000 naira per litre? It's worrisome. We went from 185 naira to 630 naira. And even at that, it's still being subsidized. Something needs to be done about the dollar and a lot of other things,
Absolutely.
I beg.
What you got next?
Okay, so next I have the Guardian newspaper. And the Guardian newspaper has this: war in Middle East may spiral, push monthly petrol subsidy to 644.8 billion naira. Well, goodbye to palliatives, that's then. Atiku Keyamo trade words over Tinubu's Chicago certificate. Wema Bank rewards winners of Hackaholics 4.2 with over 50 million naira. 107 ex-senators urge caution on Tinubu's certificate saga. Tinubu pledges 500,000 jobs as Ajaokuta Steel nears completion. Naira dip pushes loan book value of 8 banks to 30 trillion naira. Executes one project every quarter, Lagos speaker tells council chairman. And that's the one I actually find interesting because people have been saying they hardly feel the impact of the local council. Why does it exist? We might as well just look up to the state government directly and all. So having this come from the speaker, I'm pretty positive that more projects will be carried out in the states.
Well, hopefully, let's bring those projects into Festac, because Festac is a shadow of what it was. There are absolutely no roads. It's like we're Neanderthals scaling through every day.
Neanderthals.
Coming to work, going home. It is a process.
It's sad.
Please help. Cut this out and put it on social media. Festac, pledo. FTT till I die. Alrighty, thank you very much. What's your name again? Mary? Don't do that. Let's move on now to the kitchen, shall we? Where Titi is standing by to let us know what we'll be having for breakfast.
Welcome to the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen for a Monday morning. And we have Chef Walia in the kitchen. Welcome. All right, so bright and early Monday morning, Chef Walia brought palm oil, brought beans, and so many other things that are really great for a breakfast meal. What are we making today?
We are making ewa goin and agoin sauce.
Ewa goin is a classic, and I would love to see your take on ewa goin this morning. I'm seeing plantain here. I don't know if plantain is part of ewa goin. I don't know, the one I remember.
We are pairing our plantain with
Okay.
our ewa goin.
All right. So this process, I've heard that the process for ewa goin takes a very long time. But I think you've done
Yes,
some prepping.
prepping,
So
yeah.
what do we have here?
So we have our chili pepper, the dry chili pepper.
Okay.
We have our canned pepper, that's shombo, popularly known as shombo. We have our onions, we have our fish, we have our palm oil. So we have our pre-cooked beans. So our salt and seasoning and our plantain.
So pre-cooked for how long? How long was this beans cooked for?
And her.
An hour? Just boiled down? Did you add any spices to it?
No, not
Just
yet.
boiled down?
Yes, just boiled down.
Did you wait for it to get soft before you took it off the heat, or?
Just a little, not too soft. So we are going to make it very soft here.
All right. So now let's talk a bit about these two versions of pepper that you have here.
Yeah.
So you have...
Dry chili.
So this doesn't look dry anymore. What do you do?
Because I've blended. I've
Okay.
blended it already.
Okay.
So I soaked it in hot water and blend it.
Okay.
So that's why it looks that way.
All right, then the shombo.
This is the shombo, cayenne pepper.
This looks like grinding stone kind of blend, you know. What did you use to grind this?
Food processor.
Food processor? So it's not blended, it's sort of chopped finely, I guess.
Yes.
Now
Roughly blended. We can
roughly
just
blended.
Yes.
Fantastic, that's
Yeah.
better. Now we have onion there.
Yes.
Where did the onions come in? Is it now?
Yeah, going into the beans and the sauce too.
Okay, so what's the first thing we need to do?
So we'll go on with our beans.
All right, please go ahead. Please go ahead. I'm gonna grab this chopping board while everyone sees exactly what the ingredients are. The ingredients for ewa goin and the sauce are beans, onions, dried chili pepper, cayenne pepper or shombo, palm oil, salt, seasoning cubes, and some fish. All right, now there is plantain added to this as well, but I can say it's optional. Is it optional?
It's optional.
It's optional.
You can pair with your soft bread.
Ooh.
Agege bread or any other bread.
So what are we doing right now?
So we'll be slicing our onions into it.
All right, fantastic. So now the beans you've already cooked for 1 hour.
Yes.
But then we put it back on the heat again.
Yes.
How long are we going to be waiting for this to cook now?
Let's say 25 to 30 minutes.
Okay, all right. So if you have some pre-cooked beans at home, it's something you can do. You can try it at home yourself. Maybe you have normal beans and then you want to try ewa going this Monday. You never know. It might be something you have as a staple in your homes. Try yours and use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Let us know exactly how you're doing. Let's take a quick break and be back right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Well, here's hoping that you guys had an amazing time with us in the first hour and you've been inspired to take on a new week, full charged with the right level of energy. Welcome to the second hour here for Wake Up Nigeria.
All our dreams. Yes.
Please, it's almost the same color.
Yeah.
Start, not spoil.
Speaking of spoil, please, Mary, I've started the beans very well. Please don't press
Don't
spoil
press
there.
spoil, Mary. You're capable.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I can decide you're not coming back to this kitchen.
Ah.
What do you mean by that?
You know,
But
I'm
it's actually
trusting you.
exciting. If you've wondered how to make your own ewa going, this is an opportunity for you to learn from Chef Walia. And I'm pretty sure you have your notes ready. Scribble down all the ingredients. Don't miss a minute of this.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Mary. Intimidating our chef since 1982 with
Wow.
us. All right, let's go. Talking about taking things, we're taking much of our time just talking about Mary here. So let's get on with the rest of it. But in any case, you guys, the next 45 minutes begins right now. My name is Mazina Pio.
And I'm Titilaya Oyinson. You can, of course, use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms. We would love for you to be a part of the show.
Yes, remember you can also see us live.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world you choose. At TVC Connect.
Yeah.
Simple.
We still have a musical performance for you. Babatunde Raimi is...
Boy Mac. Boy Mac will be joining us. He's a very interesting, let's call him poet, songwriter, singer. He sings very interesting kind of music. So today he joins us so we can see his prowess.
Jola Grace Emmanuel, the soul doctor, helps trauma victims, the broken, the emotionally wounded and abused. She helps them to heal, reinvent themselves. Now, she is passionate about health and healing of the soul, and she's going to be here talking to us today. She's our in-house therapist at this point. Emotional health and trauma is our conversation. All right, so if you want to buy groceries, you go to a supermarket or an open market. If you want to go to buy fish, you go to a fish market. if you want to go get married, what do?
You go to the marriage market.
Yes. Yeah. Marriage market. Wedding market.
You're talking about the one in, is it a Chinese marriage? Chinese
yes.
marriage market. Okay. There was a post on Instagram over the weekend where parents actually go to a market with the resumes of their kids in China.
Yeah.
Called a marriage market for real. And they shop for spouses for their kids, which is very similar to the Nigerian culture. Because I have a friend, Sheon got married. His parents, he was taking too long. Like,
He was just
almost getting
taking too long.
His parents actually took a picture of him to the village. Shewole, graduate in here, master's degree holder, first class. Show my face.
No,
Okay.
And that's how you got married.
But it was interesting. When I saw this, it just kind of made logical sense. Because everyone coming to that space is looking for the same thing. Either a spouse for their daughter or their son. So it kind of makes sense for everybody to come to one place.
With
and
or without their
exchange details.
permission. Because
So the thing is, for me, I've always wanted several things to change, especially regarding marriage.
Okay.
I feel like many young people are getting into so much trouble these days because they don't know how to choose their partners. I feel the time of parents matchmaking their children together or helping their children choose spouses should come back. That's my thoughts. Because I see so many people struggling. You know, you have a serious relationship, but the guy, because your parents don't know him, plays you, or you have a serious relationship, the girl, because she doesn't feel committed to you, is having like several partners.
so my parent would know better what would suit me, is what you're saying.
They give birth
because
to
they
you.
They
know
kind
you.
of
Yeah,
they know
you.
your
They raised
entire
you.
personality.
Nobody knows you better than your
So
parents.
get this, Mary.
Not even your spouse.
Get this, Mary. If your son is actually really laid back and lazy, doesn't really know how to do laundry, but guess what? Has his master's or even PhD and is making money. There are some girls that are ready to do housewife for those kind of guys.
No.
are
We
some.
have helpers now. You can outsource. So
but
he's
I'm
not
saying
married now to come and be
There
the
are
slave.
some women. There are some women that don't want to actually go into the office space. They actually don't mind being at home.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
So in the marriage markets, everything goes
See,
balance.
at this point, I will start a marriage market. So if you are looking for a spouse,
Yes, sir.
please, you come with your resume, including your house address, because some of you are very suspicious characters. If I'm not doing it again.
I still
I'm not
can't
doing
get
it again.
over what Mary said. It's like, welcome back to 1975.
See,
But
if
it's
you know
okay.
how many people are going to really buy this, because they're like, do you know what I've gone through looking for a partner? And do you know how many men are looking for women between 30 and 40 they cannot find?
Oh, well.
Because everybody's looking 20 these
The directors
days.
want me to call for weather, but I'm just going to let you crash this call.
No.
Please, let's just...
Welcome, second hour here. My name is Mazino Appeal, and it's time for the news. Now we begin in Lagos State, where the state governor says it will begin the demolition of properties constructed within drainage channels as government moves to prevent flooding in the state. The Commissioner of Environment, Tokumba Wahab, after an inspection of multiple drainage sites in the city, added that violators will receive 7-day notice to vacate their properties. Esther Amokwariola reports.
In a bid to address the persistent issue of flooding in the state, Commissioner for the Environment and his team conducted visits to various locations within the metropolis. During their visit to Dodon Barracks, it came to light that certain structures had been erected on drainage systems. While our news crew was denied camera access to the premises, we managed to capture, using a mobile phone, the areas identified by government officials as illegally constructed and marked for demolition.
For the Dodon Barracks, our plan is we'll have a meeting with them. We've served them the requisite notices and it will last for 7 days. We are going to have a meeting with the GOC and the commander. But we have to do demolition to create and open up the path for the water to enter the primary channel created by the state government.
The inspection also covered several other areas, including an affluent neighborhood in the metropolis where there were clear indications of numerous properties encroaching on waterways. The Commissioner for the Environment says the state would not tolerate such violations.
They built on the canal path and narrowed the primary channel, lesser than the secondary even collector. So water will pool out and destroy other people's assets. We are not going to look back on this. You can't use a form of illegality to claim legality. You can't put something on nothing. It will not stand. These are squatters most times. And once you are a squatter and you build, especially on that canal part, the right of way, you have to go.
The team also had the chance to speak with the traditional ruler of Oniru. He appealed to the government to do more.
Where you have started, by people seeing you regularly, this week you are already in Victoria Island. Next week you are going to Ajeromi Felodu. By the time people see you out there every other day or weekend or whatever, it will come back to their consciousness that it is important for us to get our environment clean.
With collective efforts and responsible urban planning, Lagos State government aims to create a safer and more resilient environment for all its residents. Esther Mokwariola, TVC News, Lagos.
Still in Nigeria, let's tell you that operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have arrested a 67-year-old man, Chukwuemeka Clement, for allegedly ingesting 100 wraps of cocaine intended to raise enough money to marry a new wife. The suspected drug trafficker was arrested at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, during an inward clearance of passengers on Ethiopian Airlines Flight 951 from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. A statement by the NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi said the body scan conducted on the suspect revealed multiple pallets in his stomach, and he excreted 100 wraps of cocaine weighing 2.195 kilograms in 4 excretions while under observation. According to the statement, the agency's sustained efforts also yielded results: the arrest of suspects, interceptions, and recovery of different kilograms of illicit drugs in Kano, Ogun, Edo, and Gombe states. Now, Israel declares a state of war as fierce fighting continues in several areas across southern Israel, a day after Hamas' surprise attack on Israel. Hezbollah claims responsibility for mortar strikes from Lebanon into occupied Sheba farms. Israel says it has responded with artillery strikes. The escalation comes as fears of a ground invasion of Gaza are growing after Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu threatened to turn the besieged Palestinian enclave into a deserted island. The latest death toll stands at 370 Palestinians, according to health officials, and more than 700 Israelis, according to media reports. Hamas' operation came on the heels of widespread Israeli shelter attacks, increased tension at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem, and a record number of Palestinians killed. Welcome once again inside the second hour. Let's make it beautiful for you.
All right, so how is it going, Chef? What have we done so far?
I think it's almost ready. So it has been very soft now, so I've matched it.
Okay.
So I just need it to thicken a little bit.
All right, so please stir it. Let's see how soft it actually is. So this was some pre-boiled brown beans. And I know that when we started, it was definitely a lot more firm. You added some water?
Yes.
What else did we add?
Onions and salt.
Onions and salt.
Yes.
That was all.
That was all, yes.
We also had some pepper here. We had some dry pepper. And we also had some shombo, which is cayenne pepper.
And onions.
And we're cooking this down in palm oil?
Yes.
In palm oil. Okay, fantastic. So we haven't added anything else to this, have we?
We have added salt and seasoning.
Salt and seasoning.
So the next one will be the fish.
So this fish was what we call ejakika,
Yes.
round fish. Smoked round fish. And you deboned the fish?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, deboned, cleaned. It wasn't cooked, though?
No, just the smoke.
All right. Smoked fish is going into the sauce as well now. And then you're also heating the palm oil.
Yeah, I want to use it to fry a plantain.
Okay, so I've not used palm oil to fry plantain in a very long time. Maybe because of the cost of palm oil in the market. But then again, I have to ask, does it have a different flavor to when you use vegetable oil?
Yes, they have different flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer?
Depends.
Okay, this is one I want to see, the frying of the plantain.
Okay.
You didn't exactly dice it.
No.
You just basically divided it into
two. Then.
All right. So let's see how that's gonna look. The boils is soft. Rather, the beans is soft. Now the plantain is going into the oil. Woo!
Sorry.
All right, so I'm hoping let me turn that oil off a bit there, because I don't want the fire alarms to go off with that smoke. That's another reason why I don't use palm oil to fry plantain. But this should be interesting, really interesting. Do you need to add anything to that at all?
No. Nothing.
Okay,
That's
fantastic. So once again, the ingredients we have on the screen for you if you want to try this at home. Of course, we have the beans, parboiled, then reheated again. Onion, dried chili pepper, cayenne pepper, palm oil, of course, salt, seasoning, fish, and plantain. Fantastic. Great, 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 great. Ewa going and sauce. Okay, so apart from the prepping, if you were to make this at home, what do you think the entire length of time would be for you to put this together?
aside from the prepping, let's say 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay.
Because
So-
of the sauce, it takes longer time.
So what are we looking out for with the sauce now? What do you look
We are
at?
going to make it to very dry.
Okay.
Dry.
And that takes a while, I guess.
It's coming up already.
It is already looking a little dry.
Yes.
Is at this point I would have taken it off the fire and said, you know what? Nah, I'm not.
That's not the original.
That's not the original Ewa going sauce. All right, well, we will see. We will definitely see. And we'll be looking out for this plantain as well, okay? Let's put that heat back on there. So at what point do you add the fish? Is it later?
Later, because I don't want it to be dry as the pepper, as the stew.
Interesting. Okay. All right, we got it. Definitely moving a bit faster than I assumed earlier because I just thought Ewa going used to take forever. In fact,
no.
I used to use a...
Depending on the beans too.
Okay.
Depending
sure.
on the beans. You know, we have different types of beans in the market.
So you have to tell us the type of beans you use.
I use the honey beans that they call the waloyin.
Oloyin.
Oloyin, yes.
So is it
they cook
because-
faster and it's sweet.
Oh,
Sweeter than the...
So you didn't add any sugar to it to make it sweet?
No.
It's actually...
Onions, you need more onions than any other thing in beans. Your onions and salts are fine.
Okay. So I've always loved beans itself as a meal. But then, I don't know, there's something about Ewa Agoyin, especially when they serve it for you the native way. They use the spoon to press it. So it's sort of dry, but not exactly dry, but not exactly hard. It's just, it has its own texture. It stands alone. And hey, may we never stand alone.
Amen.
Hey, welcome. It's our final guest here with us today, and we have Jola Grace Emmanuel. She is the soul doctor, is what they call her. You'll see why in a bit. She helps trauma victims, the broken, emotionally wounded, and also abused to heal and reinvent themselves for an excellent life. Now, Jola Grace is also passionate about the health and healing of the soul. She's a mental health advocate, a certified life and trauma recovery coach, and she's right here. You're welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Jola Grace, that's a compound name, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
good. Today we're talking about the emotionally wounded and how to deal with trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. First off, not many people understand what trauma is. When they hear trauma, it's something physical. To have that relate to anything mental is very hard to describe, but I'm sure you're the expert. So what exactly is trauma when it comes to our emotional health?
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's nice to be here. So man is a tripartite being. So every human being, we're 3 in 1. You have a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a body. Now, your soul consists of your mind, your will, and your emotions.
Okay.
Right? And oftentimes in our journey in life, we go through situations that sort of affect our soul, cause our souls to be wounded. So the same way we get physically wounded, you know, you're walking on the road, something happens, you break your leg, you break your arm, you have a cut. The same thing happens with our soul. We go through life, we go through experiences. Somebody betrays you, somebody disappoints you. You go through childhood abuse, you go through physical abuse, domestic abuse. All of that causes a wound in your soul. So the same way you feel that pain in your leg, the same way you feel that pain in your hand, is the same way there will be a cut inside your soul when you go through any kind of pain. So basically, trauma is just a response to stressful, negative experiences that we go through in life.
So how do we deal with it? Like, I understand how I can deal with a physical wound. Now, this is my mental state here, and I don't have a Band-Aid to go in there and place it across.
Yeah.
So how to deal with it?
Yeah, which is why a lot of people find it difficult to actually heal, you know, when it comes to their emotions. And some people actually have suppressed their emotions. They've repressed it. They've told themselves, no, I'm all right. Nothing is wrong with me. You know, I'm fine. But just the same way you can't tell yourself you have a physical wound that you're fine, something will happen in the future that will remind you that you have that wound. So first of all, you need to accept that you have a wound, that you have an emotional wound, that something has happened to you. And it's okay, all right, not to be okay, which is why a lot of people feel, especially when we talk about mental health in this part of the world, people think that, nah, it's people who are crazy. But absolutely not, because the same way that you will be hurt if physically, if you're wounded, is the same way you'll be hurt emotionally. So first of all, accept that something is wrong and that you need help, because you cannot heal what you have not accepted. And, you know, for me, in my own life, I've actually gone through trauma as well. The fact that I'm now a certified life and trauma recovery coach, I went through 16 years of domestic violence and abuse. And for me, in that period, I experienced everything, you know, that trauma can be. And so coming out of that, you know, going through the process of healing and reinventing myself, that is why I said I'm passionate about the health and the healing of the soul, because there's a large difference between being in that dark place, you're not able to function properly, you have strained relationships, your cognitive is not functioning well because you keep having flashbacks, you keep, you know, bleeding on people who didn't cut you, you know. Sometimes that's why we say if you don't heal from what hurts you, you will bleed on people who haven't cut you. And a lot of relationships are strained today because people are carrying about emotional wound.
I'm going to put a pin in it there. Now that we've established what trauma is and how real it is, let's do a very short break. And when we get back, we'll still be with Jola Grace, and we'll still be talking about managing trauma emotionally. You're welcome back. It's still our motivation segment here. I'm still joined by Jola Grace, who's, well, behind the scenes telling me about her very interesting life from before. But let's talk about our topic today, managing trauma. Now, we've defined what it is. We've also talked about the fact that it's something that we need to heal from to be able to move forward. Otherwise, we're putting our baggage on other people throughout the span of our relationships as we go. Now, but there is a certain thing where people from different generations experience trauma and deal with it differently. My generation is, well, generation, very classic millennial. I experience and deal with it very differently from what the Gen Alphas and Gen Zs experience now. Is there a template to dealing with trauma?
It's just like asking me if there people from, you know, back then or people now, is there a way to treat the wound that you have in your leg? It is absolutely the same thing because we're all human beings. And like I said earlier on, you have a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in your body. And your soul consists of your will, your mind, and your emotions. And when people are in that dark place, where you start to feel low, you start to feel you can't do anything, your mind is affected. Your cognitive functioning is affected. So you can't reason the way you're supposed to reason. You will struggle at work. Some people will find that their performance at work just drops because the trauma is there, the pain is there, they can't seem to get past it. A lot of people have sleepless nights. You can't sleep because you're anxious, you're living in fear, you're panicking because you keep having flashbacks of the experience you went through. And a lot of people actually went through childhood abuse and which they never did anything about it.
That is true.
Growing up as an adult, they find that they are struggling through life. They're struggling. Some people have, anxiety. They're anxious. Some people, they want to just hold on to people that don't leave me because somebody left them. Their primary caregiver left them when they were young. So they want to cling to every relationship in their lives. And the other person doesn't understand why you're behaving like this. And they see that they struggle because I normally say that there are 5 basic soul needs, especially when the child is growing between the age of 0 and 7, right? The need for love, the need for attention, the need for affection, the need for care, and the need for appreciation. Every human being, it is a need, it's not a want. That is why if you're driving on the road and you allow somebody to pass and the person just drives off and doesn't say hi, say thank you rather, you'd be like, can't even say thank you. Why do you feel that? Because it's a need, it's a basic human need. We all just have that need. They need to be loved. It's not a want, you know, and especially when a child is growing up and they don't have that, they grow up to be a dysfunctional adult.
Okay. So, Joel, how do I then heal from trauma? And this is a question that should span an entire show.
Absolutely.
2 hours. But succinctly, how can I deal or heal from trauma?
Yeah. So first thing I said is accept, right, that there's a problem, and it's okay for you not to be okay, right? There's no
Okay
problem.
for you not to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's okay for you not to be okay, right? And then secondly, seek help, right? Seek professional help. Because a lot of people sometimes go to people who they look up to and say, oh, this person, I look up to this person will be able to help me. But I can't go to my uncle, for instance, who is not a medical doctor, to perform an operation on me. Because yes, I look up to him, he's my uncle, but doesn't have the skill set to help to perform an operation on me. So go for professional help. Go to environments where people can inspire you, where you can get the knowledge, right? A lot of people is what we don't know that is killing us. They say what you don't know can't hurt you. It's a lie. Actually, what you don't know. So get the knowledge, you know, go to meetings, programs, you know. There's one I'm putting on this coming Sunday at 4 Points by Sheraton. It's called Revenge to Excel. It's an environment that you will learn, you will heal from that pain. Because some people don't even know that the pain is there because it happened so long ago and it's become their normal. Because your normal can be abnormal and you might not know. When you expose yourself to programs like this, to professional help, they can help you dissect what exactly the problem is and provide a solution. Because healing is a journey. It's not a one-day thing. Because what happened to you over time. So you need to be patient. I tell my clients, you need to be patient with yourself in your journey of healing and
That's very
reinvention.
interesting. First of all, not being okay is
Thank
okay.
you. Absolutely.
Secondly, accepting the fact that you actually are undergoing trauma.
She's a strong person that seeks for help. Yeah, because some people think that, oh, you know, I was talking with someone yesterday, I said, men don't cry. I said, no, actually, real men do cry because they have emotions.
Oh, that's very interesting. Will you be here again next week to perhaps maybe talk about this and something else? If not next week, maybe some other time.
Yes.
There's so much that we can't cover
Absolutely.
in this space here that we really need to talk about for everybody to actually understand what trauma is. There are many people out there who are going through stuff. They don't know why they're reacting that way, but that's really the problem.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Joa, it's been fantastic having you here.
Thank you so
Apologies
much.
that we can't stretch this further, but I'd love
okay.
to have you back.
Not a problem at all. That's
Well,
fine.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. You're our last guest. We've been preparing something inside of the kitchen for a very long time, all morning. And I would like to reward you by bringing you over to the kitchen to taste.
Oh my goodness,
Would you
that's
like to do
amazing.
that?
Yes.
All right, please, let's bring you over.
Thank you very much.
All right then, welcome back to the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen, and you're also welcome.
Thank you.
Chef Walia has been hard at work here, and we've been fanning the flames here because we needed this to cook on time, and thankfully
flames.
we got it done. This is ewa agoyin and agoyin sauce.
I love the way you played with the plantain.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very cute. And then this gave it kind of like, like it made it look like, oh, you're gonna order me to pay 50,000 for this place. It looks nice.
Everybody looks forward to the oil spilling whenever they're eating ewa agoyin. It's that spilt oil that they use to mix the beans. But we would like you to have a quick taste and tell us what you think.
All right, amazing.
Right.
Thank you. I love plantain. Yeah. This is amazing.
Yeah?
It's really nice.
Plantain you like.
Plantain is the one thing that tastes the same.
Plantain, exactly. So, I mean, you have to have plantain in your life.
There's a twist to this plantain because it was fried in palm oil, not vegetable oil. Yeah?
That's why I said you should try it.
Okay.
All right.
That's different then. That's different.
All right then.
Does it have your plantain?
I can't really taste the difference, to
Okay.
be fair.
All right.
But it has like a peppery feel to it.
All right.
Is it peppered palm oil you used?
Is it pepper?
No.
Okay. Maybe it's the
Wake
sauce
up
then.
Nigeria sauce.
Yeah,
Very
but it's really
interesting.
nice. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, it's been a great show. Thank you very much for joining us for a Monday, and thank you for choosing the one that saw my return, the King's return.
Wow.
Thank you so much
King
for watching the
Mazzino.
show. Please join us tomorrow, bright and early 7 a.m. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.